Okay, well, hi everyone. So I'm Manvi. I'm a writer at News Hoot. So what we do at News Hoot is we bring real world news to curious young minds like yourself, and we write in three different difficulty levels for children above the age of 8. So we're here today with Keya Hatkar to discuss her new book. And Keya, it's a pleasure to have you here today. So do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Kia. I'm 12 years old. I live in Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. Uh, I study in 21K school, and recently I wrote a book, Dancing on My Wheels, that has been published this January 2023 on Bree Books.
That's lovely. So we've all heard like a lot about your book here. And so many people have like this lifelong dream of writing a book someday, which you've already achieved at like such a tender age of just 12. So why don't you tell us like a bit more about your book?
Yeah. So my book is about a mom, a single mom, and her two daughters, Rose and Daisy. Uh, Rose, who is a wheelchair bound child like me, has grown up to be a ballet dancer and a influencer, and who has been able to persuade authorities and then government officials. And she tells uh, that everyone should think that I am possible.
That's actually a very lovely message. So how did this whole idea of writing a book come to you?
So it came to me when I had done this dance drill in my school in
Mhm.
2019. It was a sports dance drill that I was given an opportunity, and that event left an impression, and it inspired me to write this book. And about the same event, I build I like builded a story around it so that it was not only about the event but also the life of Rose.
That's lovely. So we bought a few copies of your book and we even had the pleasure of listening to your online reading that you did about it. So my favorite part was that Rose just grows up to become so influential that people from the government are consulting her about how to make, how to build more ramps and stuff like that. So is that very similar? Is it close to your plans for the future?
Yes.
It is. That was honestly, it was my favorite part of the movie. I just felt like in that moment you were just so grown up with like it was just a beautiful dream to me. And your book is obviously it's doing very well, exceptionally well, and you've made quite a bit of money also at such a young age. So
Yes.
what are your plans? What do you plan to do with that? Your first earnings?
Uh, I have not decided about that yet. Like I will try and maybe with the money earned I could help my mom with my treatment
Mhm.
in parts like where I have to get medicines like crocin or stuff. Not major things, but even like small things.
That's honest. That is so sweet. I read quite a lot actually about spinal muscular atrophy and just the fact that you have had to go through so much. So, and we honestly were so proud of what you've accomplished despite that very painful condition. So what would you like to tell us about SMA? Like your journey
Oh,
with
well,
SMA?
for me, SMA has been a bit tough to live with, like physically, but mentally, it's uh not stopped me from doing things like writing a book. Well, even after my surgery, it was painful, but I did write like whenever I could. With with the painkillers and stuff, it was hard to write as I was like groggy, like sometimes, and Like living with SMA, it's like, how can I say? Uh, how do I say it? It's like it's tough to live with, but uh, like you have to be always think that you can do this, and if you put your mind to something, SMA can't stop you. So that's what I did while writing a book.
That's a very, very lovely thought. Honestly, thank you so much for sharing it. You're truly very inspirational. Just your spirit and your positivity is just it's very, very touching. And you personally, I'm gonna say that you are like an inspiration to me, and I want to say everyone who's read your book. So, in terms of inspiration, so what or whom inspires you to keep moving forward? Like, do you have a role model? You know,
It, the role model would be my mom.
that is so sweet.
Like my mom is a very strong, supportive mom. Like whenever I get sad, she will straight support me, and she will say like, "We can do this as a team," along with my sister and my dog.
Oh, you have a dog. That's lovely. What kind of
Yes,
dog?
a
What's his
Shih Tzu.
name? His or her?
It's a Shih Tzu. It's a
Oh, it's a Shih Tzu.
heel.
That's adorable. That's such a cute name.
He might
Um,
come on screen after some time
oh,
with my mom.
that's lovely. Okay, so considering that, we're a company that makes news for kids, right? So what are like your opinions about the news? Is that something that personally interests you? Like, do you like picking up a newspaper once in a while or like turning on the news?
I I mean, I don't read news often, but like whenever I'm doing my school and I have to search for the news for my school, like for the assembly, I do think I do find things interesting. Like for example, if it has to do with art, or if it has
Mhm.
to do with books, like
Yeah, because you're,
authors.
you're very into design, aren't you? Digital design. It's
Yeah.
lovely. Okay, so if there's like a message that you could share to like children across the world, young aspiring authors or successful authors like yourself, what would that be?
Uh, I think even authors who read my book, they would figure out just this one message that I am possible. I just love that one part of my message. I know it's my own book, but that one thing that I wrote, that I'm possible, that's just one message that should be applicable to everyone.
It was a very brilliant ending. It was very touching line. It's one of my favorites too. Okay, so that's all we have in terms of questions. Is there anything, you'd want to tell me or discuss, or if you have any questions?
Um, Mom, do you have anything?
Mom is listening and she's extremely proud of every word that you're speaking. So I'm happy. I don't
It
want to.
is,
I don't.
in fact,
I don't want to spoil this by saying it.
even when I was reading, like, even when I was listening in on the online book reading, you're such a good speaker. Honestly, I was like amazed that you're only 12, but you speak so well.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think that is it in terms of the questions that I have. It was lovely talking to you. I look forward to reading more from you whenever your next book comes out. Okay?
Yes,
So
I
I'm
think
gonna.
even the next story I really like.
Do
I
you have
think
plans?
I might
Your next
publish
book?
it some, yeah, it could be sometime during this year.
Really? Do you have any ideas or is this something you're gonna start working
Yeah,
on?
I do have an idea, but I wouldn't reveal it now.
Oh, is it gonna be like, okay, well, you don't have to tell me, but is it gonna be like a sequel? Or is it gonna be something entirely new?
Entirely new.
That sounds very inspirational, and I wish you the very, very best for that. I can't
Thank
wait to
you.
read it. Okay, so I'm gonna stop recording here.